I want to capture community. I want to capture morality. You know, I want us to still cherish our elderly ones because honestly, they are a wealth of knowledge, wisdom. I want us to still look back into traditions. No matter how the internet has come to stay or AI has come to change the world, we cannot forget our past. That's what I want to capture. I want to capture that game feeling where we sit down and we all like put all our differences aside and we just enjoy the nature. This is my own take. I see AI as a tool. As an artist, you can use AI as an assistant. But I don't want AI to like fully take over the art market or entertainment market or craft market because some say it doesn't have AI art doesn't have soul. I don't know about that, but I just feel it should be a tool, not just like 100% AI. As an artist, you should be able to use it. There was, I think it was 2024, where I did my 365, 366-day challenge of performance challenge of creating art every day and posting it on the internet. I can't lie to you, that was like the most challenging year of my life. And I wouldn't be able to have pulled it off if I didn't use AI. I'm being honest here. Because there are days where I wake up and I'm like, damn, I don't want to create a damn shit today. I don't want to create anything today. I don't want to do shit. But I have to remember that I'm on a challenge and I have to do it. So I used it as my tool. So new expressionism for me, my own style is more like semi-abstract. Um, it's a blend in the sense that I'm not too into realism. I just blend it a bit, like a dance between realism and abstract. Over the years, my favorite color has changed. But let's say morphed. I started from black. No, I started from blue. Went into black. But right now it's orange. There's this popular saying, they say orange is the new black. So as a dark man, I found out that when I wear orange, it kind of like calms my dark skin tone. So orange, orange has this cool effect. I don't know, maybe because it's a blend of yellow and red. Yellow is too flashy, red is too violent, but orange is just in between. It's just no. I can't find anyone that hates orange. I've never come across someone that say, "Oh, I don't like orange." I don't know. So there's this incident. This incident was like a traumatic experience for me. Back in my primary school days, I used to like draw paint and stock up my artwork, and during break time I show my guys, their minds will be blown away, like, damn, you did this, bro. Because then I used to sell comics. I used to make comics in school. Then this girl just reported me to the teacher and she tore my paintings. That was a traumatic experience for me. So, because that made me stop painting for a while or stop creating arts in general for a while. So I don't think I still have access to it. Let's say 2021. Yeah, I still have those paintings. Funny thing is, I don't want to put it up I don't want to put it up on the market yet because I've learned something like true art ages with time. Like the value I appreciate. So I still have them stored away, kept safe, waiting for the right time to bring them out. So tortoise is gonna appear. And the reason why I choose tortoise is because I said tortoise has always been my favorite guy growing up. Yeah, that guy. If you were to ask me what's the personification of a loser, I would say tortoise. But the one thing I love about that loser is he never gives up. He still makes attempts each time he falls short. He's always coming back like each time. He always wants to outsmart everyone. He doesn't give up. I love that characteristic about him, not giving up. He's a crazy guy. So that's why he's going to be here. And Anansi the spider will be here too. And the reason why is sometimes we need to confront our deepest fear, our deepest phobia in order to like break free. And if I say because of superstition, I didn't I didn't look into the whole Anansi thing. I think I've come of age to put away my fear and my superstition and take it up. So that's why Anansi is gonna be here. I think it's about time. So my new expressionalism style, it combines visuals, text, hidden messages, hidden symbols. So just look out for it. Look out for in the basic symbols. Look out for that too. I'm not too big on nostalgia because everyone has everyone has different feeling when they look at. Okay, let me put it this way. When two or three people look at a piece of art, they tend to experience it differently. And for me, I rarely experience nostalgia when it comes to art. I don't know. Maybe I'm wired different, I guess. I would say it builds strength. And I'm going to use an adage, more like a parable to prove that. When you take a bunch of broomsticks, they are very difficult to break, right? When they are together. But when you pick them apart and you snap on one of them, they break easily. And that's what I feel about community. When we are bound together, it's difficult to like tear us apart. But when we stand separately, we can be taken apart easily. That's why community is important. United, we stand, divided, we fall. I think that's the message for Africa at large. You know, sometimes we all wonder why America is so great, but look at the name. The full name says United States of America. United. And that's the reason why. It's as simple as that. You don't need to look deep into any other thing. Sometimes the most simplest truth are in the simplest things. Like you don't need to think deep. Like it's so simple to understand. It's similar. there's so much similarities in the sense that these games are strategy, and strategy has to do with the mind. And Ijakpa is a very cunning guy, and when you say cunning, cunning has to do with the mind too. So sometimes when we say you need to be as cunning as Ijakpa, it means you need to be on your A game. Because Ijakpa always comes with his A game. Let's put all jokes aside. He might fall short, but he always comes with his A game. It doesn't slack, honestly. Sometimes you get greedy, you get carried away, you get distracted, but no, that guy is something else. I'm still thinking because my mom my mom used to say so many proverbs. So I'm still like looking for the thing with my heart is when I keep seeing how it develops, I keep getting interpretations, like I keep getting messages. So I'm still gonna see the message. I have a prior message, but I'm still looking for one that is gonna stick, and definitely is gonna stick. I actually I don't ignore tradition. So the thing with me is I'm big on tradition, like I said earlier. So the only thing is I try to find a balance. And how do I find that balance? I try to interpret it from three standpoints: Egyptian tradition, Yoruba culture, and Western lifestyle. So when I met those three together, that says more about my style of art. My grandma is late, and I miss my grandma. You know, I wish she was alive to see the artist I have become. You know, sadly, I started a portraiture for her, and I wasn't able to complete it while she was alive. And that still haunts me because she didn't get to see the gift the creator blessed me with. So I feel longing is the word. Art is not even just about aesthetics. Art is about research too. And creating this kind of pieces gives me the privilege to look up and look into whatever I want to depict. So creating this kind of art has given me the chance to study more and learn more. There is, I would say, the spirit of sportsmanship. Many people don't know what that actually means. Life is not competition actually. And even if it's competitive, we should have the spirit of sportsmanship, where losing shouldn't beget envy. Because in every game, there's always a loser, there's always a winner. There's no how you can't have it. You can't eat your cake and have it. So the spirit of sportsmanship should be in everyone. If you lose, take it. That's not the end. You might win the next day. So I guess that's what this whole game is about. And the symbolism is going to be as ancient as Egypt. I'm just giving you the heads up. It's going to be weird, but I'm going to say it. The artists I look up to in Egypt are actually unknown. We don't know them, but they were so gifted to bless us their works on stone, marble. I sometimes when I look at sculptures on stone and marble or hard material, my mind is like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm very sure these guys had crude tools. They don't have as modernized tools that we have today, but they could give us that kind of, I won't say perfect, let's say near perfect works, like it's mind blowing. Take for instance the things, the pyramids of Giza, those, like, they are mind blowing. They're mind blowing. So I don't know them, but I salute to them. One of my favorite artists is still alive. His name is Tishan Sheng. He's a performance artist, also a visual artist. But the funny thing is, I haven't, I have never seen his visual art. So Tishan Sheng works with time. Is the reason why I did my 365 366-day challenge of creating art every day. Is the reason why I did that. Is a huge inspiration for me, because me being a performance artist, he is the reason why I am. He is the reason why. And in Nigeria, I would say Sir Yinka Shonibare. You know, through reading, I was able to discover him. Through a book called Dandyism. And what I discovered about him is his resilience. Like, he didn't let challenges stop him from being the artist he is today. And those are the attributes I cherish when I look at people. I've collaborated with lots of artists though, but I learned something from collaborating with artists in Nigeria. It's sad for me to say, but most collaborations are financially driven, like, in the sense that they just want to collaborate because they see a chance to, like, make money. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Money is needed for this game. It's needed for this, not even a game, in this whole profession. But that shouldn't be your main motivation. That should don't never let it be your main motivation. That's what I've noticed collaborating with some few artists, contemporaries of my own kind. Many people have Many kids of today don't know what it means to sit down and hear stories, from elderly ones. But this doing this project, when Square Root Studio reached out to me to do this project, it made me understand that there are still certain people that value folklore, value the stories, the morals, the tales, the advice that this event, this culture, this cultural setting instills in us. And that gave me the sense. That's why I'm answering it both ways. That, yeah, some people still value it, some people still see the potential in it, in shaping our culture of today. You know, since I keep drawing so much references from Egyptian and traditions, I give myself the task of trying to understand the hieroglyphs. And one thing I learned is that you cannot translate it the same way you translate our normal official language, English, or our mother tongue. These symbols have pictorial meanings. Some of them do have literal meanings too, and that made me understand that even in CBDs too have those they have so much similarities. Now, if you understand that both have so much similarities, you understand that one should be like the parent language and the other should be like a secondary. Like, when you dilute something, you're diluting something with water. Let's take, for instance, you're diluting palm wine with water. The conch one is like the main product itself, but the diluted one doesn't. It's not a different product. It still retains the original content, but it's just diluted. I feel CBD is like the diluted form of the hieroglyphs. It was like a mode of communication, a way of recording back in the days. Scribes used to use it. I still don't know why we Africans would choose to forget such language of our ancestors, such writing language of our ancestors. But if if this generation choose to forget, we that remember we will not forget. That's why we tend to incorporate it into our art. I wasn't exposed to CBD growing up. Um, I actually saw it briefly once. Let me be candid. But coming down here and speaking to someone here in Square Studios, it made me understand that CBD is one of Nigeria's ancient language, like writing system, like these are knowledge that are lost in time. If he didn't specify it, I might have thought it was even from another African country. Yeah, I'm going to be incorporating it into this painting. I actually specified some wisdom. And why did I pick wisdom? Because during Tales by Moonlight, wisdoms are always passed across. I'll be incorporating knowledge too, because Tales by Moonlight also contains knowledge. What else? I'll be incorporating love, because love too comes with the whole experience. I'm incorporating wisdom, which is very vital, because you do not forget the end goal of telling these tales by the moonlight is to instill wisdom into the young ones. Each time they tell the story of Tortoise and his escapade, it wasn't just for fun, it's for passing a message. And I guess that's what this art is supposed to radiate. Don't forget that most of our history we actually wiped away. Like, okay, let me give you a very good instance. The burning of the Benin Kingdom Empire, the burning of, I'm very sure the Benin Kingdom during its peak must have its own library, because every civilization always has a library, just as the Egyptians had their library at Alexandria, and it was burnt too. So I feel those are what cause those are what causes the loss of this knowledge, this ancient knowledge. Honestly, it needs revival. Even though it's not going to be used by the whole masses, I feel it can be used by elites in the sense that Da Vinci used to write some hidden codes in his pieces, I mean sketches, in his works. I feel elites can use in CBD, in passing messages that they don't want to be corrupted, but to be understood by coming generations, by incorporating it in their art. Like that's like the basic way you can pass knowledge across, by incorporating it in your art, by telling a story with it, by making people become familiar with it. You know, we really need this knowledge. This knowledge shouldn't just be restricted to the internet alone. Like, because I want to understand something, I need to just turn to the internet. No, I should be able to look at paintings. I should be able to see it in books. I should be able to learn about it in pictures, photography, even in film. So, because I've noticed that people tend to grasp more. People learn to learn better rather when it comes to other mediums of art. Let's filmmaking, videography, people tend to assimilate better. I can't speak for everyone though, but the first time I discovered the CBD2 was through, I think it was through someone's painting, because the guy was so kind of him to like talk about it, and that was when I picked it for the first time too. So I've learned that art is not just aesthetics. Art is not just it looks good, yeah, yeah, no. Art should be more than that. So in terms of symbolism, it could do more good. It could pass more message. This is more like a mix, an hybrid. You know, there's this saying, they say there's nothing new under the sun. So if we are to believe that saying, it means what has been done in ancient times is still what's being done today. And I can give you a very good example. Board games like Ayo, Draft, are similar to board games in ancient Egypt. We have Senet and the rest. So it's almost similar. It's just things evolve. So this is more like a mix to show that nothing has really changed. The only thing that has changed is time, civilization. Uh, so in terms of our culture, we're talking about gathering. Let me give you another analogy. The mother hen, she used to gather her flocks under her wings, and that's like a form of protection. So when we gather around our grandma and she's telling us tales by moonlight, it's more like that same protection. Because most of the stories they tell us sticks to us and helps us in making the right decisions. I read a book. It says Zulu had the strength of like 10 men. Is that not superhuman strength? Exactly. And some attributed his strength to voodoo, you know. But irrespective of whatever you call it, it's still strength. Doctor Strange in Marvel Comics, he uses voodoo too. I don't know why Westerners just make it look super cool. Say it's sorcery. It's the same voodoo. Sadly, we have no record of their exploits. That's one thing that hurts me each time I'm in a bookstore and I'm looking for books to read. We hardly see books that put our race on par with the colonizers.